Hi, my name is Jen Espinosa-Goswami. I am a health coach over at Weightless Chronicles, and I'd like to say a few words about Vanessa Corazon. If you don't know Spanish, Corazon stands for heart, and she and I have made several very amazing connections in the past 6 months or so. First of all, let me say that I was not searching for a business in life intuitive. I don't necessarily know that I believe fully in a psychic experience. I have certainly tinkered with talking to folks who do have Vanessa's types of gifts, but it was a complete circumstance that we happened to meet the way we did. We met in a Facebook group, and it was kind of one of those things where it was the right place, the right time, and I had an offer for a free call. I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. And I firmly believe that everyone who enters our life for a reason. I don't necessarily know the reason why Vanessa entered my life, but I'm very thankful she did. Some of the insights that she gave me, and I've done both free and paid calls with her. And first of all, I'd like to say she's very generous with her time, even though I did pay for several calls with her, at least 2 or 3 maybe. She offered plenty of free calls in exchange with just connecting and reconnecting and figuring out, if it had been several months since we had last connected, just catching up and seeing where I was at, which I very much appreciated. And she took it upon herself to message me from time to time to see where I was at with the last insights. I think the most important thing that Vanessa allowed me to do was to trust in myself. I actually took her paid course, which was to become your own business in life coach. And some of those lessons really cemented what we talked about in our one-off calls. But one of the biggest things that I learned after working with Vanessa, other than being able to trust myself, that is she had predicted, and she doesn't necessarily predict things or project into the future, but she had a feeling that my life would change direction. I work a day job currently, and she had a feeling that that would end sometime in October or November of this year. And I'm happy to report I am quitting the day job. Now, when Vanessa first shared this insight with me, there was no chance that I was going to quit my day job. None at all. It wasn't even a glimmer of hope in my eye at that time. And I certainly had no timeline for when that was going to happen. So this was totally kind of blew my mind, and I'm still not sure how that ended up playing out the way it did. And another thing that saved my business quite a bit of money, and for which I'm very grateful. I've been working on and off with various business coaches and services and programs throughout the past year. Some were helpful and some were not helpful, but I came to a decision between 2 very different products. One was a very expensive private coaching program that was an annual commitment, and one was a less expensive option. I did not, initially I felt that I should be going with the more expensive option. And even though I didn't tell Vanessa the details of either of the programs, she was able to tune out which one was more appropriate for me based on the knowledge base I already have and the support I further need. And even though I went against the decision at that time, and I went ahead and made the commitment for the higher program, my gut started feeling weird about it, and it just didn't feel right to me. And I was able to get out of that commitment, which turned out to be an amazing thing because, like I mentioned, I'm quitting my day job, and I would no longer have been able to afford that annual commitment for the high-end private coaching. So that ended up saving my business literally thousands of dollars, especially because I'm still ramping up my business and I'm still trying to obtain clients. So in a nutshell, Vanessa is a very heart-centered, generous, lovely individual who validated my need to trust my own instincts, and she also validated when I was at a decision point and I couldn't decide whether A or B was more appropriate for me. Her advice and her calls have led me to make the most economical decision for me, which is extremely important for me at this point of my business. Further, I'd like to say that I took her 5-day Become Your Own Life Coach class, and I started implementing some of her tips in terms of clearing energy with crystals, not just with myself, but also with my children. And we are sleeping better at night. We're not having as many nightmares. I am finding myself in a more loving place when I clear my energy with rose quartz in the middle of the day. So Vanessa has opened my mind to some things that I wasn't sure about, was ready to explore, but wasn't quite sure where I felt about that. She's very generous, she's heart-centered, and she helped me save thousands of money for my business. And somehow she also was able to project something that happened in my future, despite the fact that the future is a potential opportunity. I highly recommend anyone who wants to work with Vanessa to do so as part of her mastermind. If she could do this with just a few phone calls with me and a course that I purchased from her, which was supremely low price, by the way, it was more than worth the money, then I can't even imagine what sorts of amazing breakthroughs and results you'll get out of your business and out of just trusting your own instincts and being able to draw your inner power and to trust that that's the way for you. I do feel that Vanessa is the one who can lead you there. Her insights have been spot on, have been amazing for me, and I'm so thankful that she has entered my life. I don't know the reason for it, but I'm so glad that we met within this season, and I highly encourage you out there, if you are on the fence, you're not sure, you've never had experience with Vanessa, I highly recommend you at least do a phone call, an initial phone call with her, because you may not be blown away right away, but as things unfold for you, you will realize, yes, she is able to tap into something that perhaps you don't understand or can't explain for yourself. I highly recommend you work with Vanessa Corazon. My name is Jen Espinosa-Goswami, and I'm a very happy customer and client of Vanessa. Happy to share the love for her. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'd be happy to tell you more. So please go out and schedule at least a phone call with Vanessa and see what unfolds for you. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.